A good breathing progression is the 3-month position, feet up on a table and knees and hips in a 90-90 position. What we're trying to accomplish with this exercise is reinforce proper breathing mechanics first and foremost, and then can we tie in that stability component? Because if we think of the diaphragm and its function, it functions to breathe, right? Air in and out of the lungs, again, changing the pressure gradient there in the thoracic cavity. And then can we also teach it how to stabilize simultaneously? I think this is one big area a lot of people overlook. They either teach it one or the other, but not really linking those two together. So I'm going to show you that here today. So in this 3-month position, what we're going to do is we're going to start knees at 90, hips at 90, feet up on the bench to start, okay? So we're actually, again, providing that support of the feet down. And what I'm going to start with is just normal breathing mechanics, okay? I want to take a nice big inhale. Ribs tend to open up there a little bit. Exhale. As you exhale, let everything out of the lungs. Let that rib cage compress down. So we're in a good position between rib cage over pelvis, okay? So big exhale. Once we get into that position, just slightly engage abdominals, as little as you need to maintain your position, okay? We don't need to really force and brace super hard on this right here because it's a very low threat position, but just enough to maintain the position, okay? What I'm gonna do from there is I'm gonna check, again, find the anterior superior iliac spine here, bony prominences in the front of the hip, fingers just inside that. I'm gonna do a couple breaths. I'm just going to see, okay, where's my breath coming from? I can check the chest, I can check the abdomen, I can check that position just inside those bony prominences. And then I also want to check laterally. Am I breathing and expanding out? If you feel like you have trouble with getting your breath into the abdominal wall around 360 degrees, stay here in this position for now. Don't jump ahead, because by jumping ahead, you're compromising. You don't have the respiration yet. You're going to jump to stabilization, so you're jumping too far into the progression. But once you have those things down, next thing we're going to do is, again, get my breath. Rib cage in position. I'm breathing out. I'm going to just slightly try to reduce the pressure of my heels on the bench here. So now my core diaphragm is forced to stabilize the spine and the pelvis to keep me in this position as I'm trying to constantly breathe through. So just slightly lifting the knees up so my feet are off the bench. You can hear my breath here, a little more shaky. So as I lift my feet up, I don't want to just lift up like this, okay? I'm actually trying to somewhat lift my knees into the air. You can see my abdominals, my obliques are going to work a little bit harder. My lower back is coming into more contact with the ground here. Less pressure down here towards the sacrum, more towards the lumbar spine. And I'm going to try to maintain that breath. And make sure as I stabilize, I'm continuing to breathe 360 degrees around the chest, around the abdominal wall, and I'm going to work on about 3 to 5 breaths like that. Rest, reset, and then go again. So you can do several repetitions of that, but that is a very good exercise to help work on really tying together respiration and stabilization simultaneously. But remember, not just lifting the feet up in the air, but trying to drive those knees up towards the ceiling just slightly, and you'll feel a little more pressure towards the lower back as you work on breathing and stabilization.